loud. Hello, everybody. Lucas Haneman here. Welcome to this week's episode of Guitar Tone Tuesday, which is all about the Yamaha FG 370S. I promised it. I told you guys, I said, I'm going to do an episode on this guitar, and now I'm getting around to it. So here we are. Just me and this Yamaha. While you're thinking about it, don't forget to go down there and subscribe and like and share the video and all that good stuff if you like Yamaha guitars and if you like guitars in general, because on Guitar Tone Tuesday we love to talk about interesting things like this. So, this guitar belongs to a good friend of mine named Guy. Guy is a longtime fan, thankfully, of the LH Express, and my wife Megan and I, and a longtime friend, most importantly. And we've conversed many times about guitars. We've conversed many times about music, and he's a knowledgeable dude. He's a knowledgeable dude, and he's one of these guys who just has such a passion for music. And whenever you meet somebody like that, it's nice to get to know the guitars that they play. And to me, Guitar Tone Tuesday is all about building a community, So I gotta say, it's really nice of Guy to lend out this guitar for the show. And this guitar has been Guy's guitar since about 2016. It's kind of a long story, and I'll try to make it short. But in 1989, Guy was finishing up his college, and he went to Steve's Music Store here in Ottawa and purchased himself a Yamaha FG 400, which was a laminated top guitar with laminated back and sides. And then he had that guitar for many, many years. And then around 2008, he got himself a Cole Clark acoustic, and he noticed the benefit of solid top guitars and solid wood guitars in general. He still had his old Yamaha FG 400 around that time, and in about 2016, he was part of a school, and he decided to donate two of his guitars, his Yamaha FG 400 and an Ibanez acoustic, to the school to help kids learn how to play music, which is very, very admirable and very, very cool. And then he decided, well, I kind of need another beater guitar, and so he went out and purchased this thing used for $250, which is quite the deal, I'd say. These guitars retailed brand new in Canada around that time, in the 2000s anyways, for about $400, and so pretty good deal for $250, I'd say. The Yamaha FG 370 has been around for a long time. It's not being made anymore, but in the late 70s, Yamaha introduced their first solid top guitars, and they had a couple of models, including the FG 365S, which I did a video on, Guitar Tone Tuesday episode 111, actually. You can go check that guitar out. That was from the original run. It was from 1981, and a really, really nice guitar. Very similar to this, except it has a three-piece back. And then they did the Yamaha 370 as well. And they eventually did the Yamaha 370S 2, which was kind of in the 80s at some point. They made these guitars from late 70s until about 1989, and then this guitar is actually from the second run, which went from 2004 until 2015, when they took this guitar and kind of revamped it, and they came up with another guitar now called the 380S, which is very similar to this, but it has scalloped bracing instead. So kind of an improvement. This one has straight X bracing, okay, meaning that there's no scalloping under the braces. But it's still a very good sounding guitar. It's loud. It's very loud and very proud, I gotta say. Let's hear it a little bit more. A little strummy stuff, and then we'll go into some picking. Yeah, very, very, very cool. Now, I'm definitely going to do some fingerstyle stuff on this guitar before we say goodbye today. But as I say, this is from the second run of the Yamaha FG 360s, or sorry, 370s. Uh, this guitar has a solid spruce top. It also has laminated rosewood back and sides, which are very, very nice. Nicely done. Has a NATO neck, which is kind of a mahogany substitute. And we have nice binding like all over this guitar, right? It's really, really nice. You know, binding here, binding here, binding here, binding here, binding everywhere, which is very nice. And around the sound hole, we have a nice kind of pearly abalone thing going on, which is really nice. And then we have a tortoiseshell pickguard, which is a nice touch, kind of classy, right? Classy guitar. The original run of these guitars, I believe, had gold tuners, but these are chrome tuners. And it's interesting, you know, actually, my friend who has the Yamaha FG 365, that's why I was confusing my 360s and 370s. Apologies. My friend who has the Yamaha FG 365S from the late 70s, we realized that I think Yamaha changed their body shape slightly over the years. This one seems just a touch wider. And the headstock also seems a touch wider. Everything's a little wider. The neck is wider. The nut, I should say, is wider. The spacing here at the bridge is a little bit wider. Everything's a little bit wider, which kind of makes it more comfortable for fingerstyle guitar playing. And based on the serial number, I was able to determine that this guitar was actually from 2012. So it's an 11-year-old guitar now. And I gotta say, it's aging nicely. You know, the top has a very beautiful kind of caramel colored hue, which is very nice, actually. Not unlike that old 365S from 1981. It's very similar in shade to that top. So it makes me think that maybe Yamaha is using some aging toner now on their tops. But either way, it's very nice. It reminds me of that classic Yamaha vibe, you know? Classic Yamaha vibe. What else do we have here on this guitar? We have a rosewood fingerboard, and as I say, kind of straight bracing inside the guitar, which the only downside to this guitar, in my opinion, is that it could have more bass. Now, if you are diligent about your picking location, if you pluck maybe a little bit more over the sound hole than you usually would, you can compensate for those laminated back and sides and get a little bit more bass from it. And I think if this guitar was played a lot and played really hard, it would certainly open up. But it still sounds really nice. Fingerstyle. man. Okay, I gotta say, I love Yamaha guitars. I love Yamaha guitars because they're a guitar for the every person, right? You know, you think about these FG guitars, and though this one is slightly blinged up, right, still about a $400 guitar. The model that replaced this is now going for about $470. That's in Canadian dollars, by the way. So probably 300 in the States or so. You know, like very reasonably priced guitar, you know, and a good sounding guitar. You don't have to worry about it like crazy because the back and sides are laminated, so you can take it out. You can leave it on a stand. You know, it's not like your solid wood guitars where you have to freak out over humidity and stuff like that, right? Like, I mean, you still got to take care of these guitars, but they are a little bit more rugged for that reason, and it's super cool, right? And the cool thing now is that Yamaha is starting to become known as this primo acoustic brand with the FG5 and the FG9 and all these new guitars that they're doing. And I'd love to try to feature those on the show too, because man, oh man, amazing guitars. But this tier of Yamaha FG reminds me of the Yamahas that I knew when I was growing up. It sounds great, it doesn't break the bank, and it's a good looker too. It feels amazing, you know, the neck is awesome. So I gotta say thank you to Guy for lending me this guitar. It really means a lot, and I'll play you guys out, and we'll see you guys again on the next episode of Guitar Tone Tuesday.